Hey guys, what's going on? Ian Preston here on my first channel, Ian Preston. Welcome back to another Cobra Kai video. Now, I was just, it's kind of like, this isn't any predictions or anything really. This is just a story time. And I was just thinking about this like a couple of weeks ago. Like, I was thinking, like, remember on Ian Preston Reviews when I reacted to Nerves of Steel, Arthur? Sometimes I remember when I was a kid, I used to think about other like when I ever was so obsessed with a show or something, I would think of a story and I would tell my parents or my mom or my dad this story, and I would just it'd be all made up and it would be based off of a different thing. Only it would be this cartoon character that I like watching, and it was based off of that cartoon character that I used to watch as a kid. Like for example, I based the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I based Kettle Gumball Watterson Thanksgiving off of the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and I told him that story, and I did that a lot as a kid, and he thought it was funny and cute, and I did that with Pokemon story like Winnie the Pooh Boo to you too. Now I'm thinking, hey, how about I do a Nerves of Steel, but it's a Cobra Kai version, and I just have the perfect one. So here's how it starts. Here's how it starts. Drop a like if you like this. But anyway, here's how it starts. It all starts off on a sunny afternoon. Um, Samantha LaRusso is on her couch reading a book. She looks at the audience and says this: "Taking something that's not yours always leads to trouble. Ask Anthony." And then she goes back to her book. And then Anthony is like dressed, has a Sherlock Holmes hat on or something, and he's saying, "Grandma Lucille and I made 20 brownies last night. Only 19 are left. Who is the culprit?" And then he turns to Sam and says, "Aha, a suspect." And Sam doesn't even look up. She's just still has her head in her book. And then she said, "Not guilty. I just got back from the dentist and I'm not eating any more sweets today anyway." And then he continues to look around. He just notices bagel crumbs and says, "Nope, just bagel crumbs." And then he says, and then he finds birdseed and he goes, "Darn, only birdseed." And then outside he notices a squirrel munching on some brownie bits, and then he goes, "Gotcha! How could you?" And then you can see Daniel outside on the on the patio eating a brownie and said, "How could he what?" And then Anthony's like, "Dad, you stole my brownie?" And then Daniel's like, "I didn't steal it. I ate it." And then Anthony starts running. Anthony starts running and says, "Grandma, it was Dad. He's the brownie thief." And then Sam's like, "Relax, Anthony. It's just a brownie, isn't it?" And then the title card, Nerves of Steel. And it shows Moon making a cockle-doodle-doo noise, and then Sam comes up giggling, and it all starts off on a sunny afternoon. Moon's sitting sad in her room, looking out the window. She notices Stacy in her backyard. Well, I guess Stacy in my story, she lives like behind her house is behind Moon's house. There's houses behind some houses, and then she notices Stacy playing with playing with some remote control airplane outside, and then um, Moon says, "Hi, Stacy," all sad, and then Stacy said, "Hey, Moon, how come you're outside? How come you're inside on such a perfect Sunday afternoon?" And then Moon just said, "Oh, blame it on female DC character toys." "You mean you finally got one?" Stacy asked, and then Moon said, "Well, not exactly." And basically it shows sec. Hey guys, okay, I just needed to think of something like with the story and all. Anyway, Yasmin and Moon are like spying on Tori and Sam, and then next thing you know, Sam's like, "Ah, there's a mouse in my basket." And then Yasmin laughs and says, "See what you're missing, Moon? You should get yourself a female DC character toy." And then Sam comes up and says, "Yasmin Reynolds, you'll be sorry." And then she chases her, and then Yasmin's like, and by the way, her name's not really Reynolds. It's just in my story. We don't know what her last name is. But anyway, and the next thing you know, Tori is showing showing Moon her DC female character toy, and then she tells her that she should get herself her own toy, and she's like, you should get yourself your own toy if you should get yourself your own DC female toy. They're really fun. And then Moon just sighs, and then in some little diner, Stacy and Sam and Moon are like chilling, and then Stacy asks them when they're gonna get their DC female character toy, and then Moon says, "Oh, my parents say I can't have one until my birthday. Besides, they're too expensive." And then Sam says, "And weird looking. My mom and dad said if I want one, I have to buy it myself." And then Tori and Yasmin come in and tell them that some layers just came out for the toy sets for the DC female character sets, and then Stacy goes with them, and then Moon sighs and says, every girl on Earth has a female DC toy except us." "Oh, come on, Moon," Sam said. "Not everyone." And then they see two little girls playing with female DC toys, and then actually she said, "Oh, come on, Moon, not every girl." And then when they see the two little girls playing with those kind of toys they want, um, Moon says, "Yeah, every girl." And the next thing you know, she's at a store by herself, and then she's like, "Whoa, it's Anthea from Shazam Fury of the Gods. Look at the detail and look at the price," Sam said, coming up. "Oh, hi, Sam," said Moon. "Hey, Moon, are you gonna get are you finally getting your female DC toy?" No, I'm just looking," she said. And then she imagines at school, and next thing you know, the real Anthea comes in, played by Rachel Zegler, and said, "Behold, everybody, I bring you Moon Michaels." And then she has her own huge Anthea figure, and it's carrying her. And then, and then, and then, and then they're like, "Wow, that's so cool, Moon. Cool toy." "Yeah, 'cause she's mine." "She is cool 'cause she's mine," Moon said. And then Moon saw, and Sam wasn't looking, Moon secretly put the Anthea figure inside Sam's backpack when she wasn't looking, and then zips it up for her. And then Sam's like, "Wow, these are really too good of deals," she said. Yeah, let's go," said Moon in a hurry. And then next thing you know, Anthony said, "Hey, I saw that." And then Moon's like, "Ah!" And then Anthony said, "I saw that lunchbox at school." And then he goes, "Phew." And then Moon goes, "Whew." Sorry, bear with me if I screw up a little bit. Anyway, and then Anthony goes, "Oh, hi, Moon. Come on, Sam. Mom's ready to go." And then Amanda's like, "Hi, Moon. You need a ride home?" And then she said, Actually, I got my car. I think I'll drive. You want to come with me, Sam?" "No, thanks," Sam said. "I got to get home and do my homework." And then Anthony said, "Hey, Mom, look at me. I'm on TV." He said, looking at the security camera, and then Moon just cringed as she looked at the security camera. And then as she got in her car, she drove, and then she felt like she needed to catch her breath. She was freaking out about what she's done. So she pulled over somewhere in the park, trying to catch her breath. She got out to catch her breath and said, "What have I done? I'm a criminal," as she said, as she heard a siren in the background, and then she imagined Sam getting arrested, and then she said, "I'm innocent. Moon's the thief. Moon did it." And then Moon gets chased, and then the cops chase after her, and then in her dream, and then the next thing you know, Counselor Blatt is like, "Order in the court. Now, how did you all spend your weekend?" And Stacy said she she studied super security stuff, and then Tori said she required punishment. Yasmin said she went on a field trip to the police station, and then Moon said, "I stole an Anthea toy," and then Counselor Blatt said, "Well, Moon, that makes you a real crook." She was pretending to be I think she was a judge in Moon's illusion or something, and then Moon's like, "Oh, no," looking like she had like black and white stripes clothing on for jail. And then the next thing you know, and next thing you know, back to reality, all she was hearing was a fire truck. Then she looks at a fence looking like the stripes on her, making her look like she was wearing a criminal outfit or something. And she's like, ah! And then Tori and Yasmin were watching something, and then I think Tori was like, "Hey, he stole second base." And then Yasmin said, "Think you going for broke? Steal third." "No!" Moon cried. "Put it back. It's not worth it." And then they look at her confused, and then she's like, "Oh, oh," Moon said, because she realized that it was a baseball game and no one was stealing anything. And then Moon's like, "Oh," and then she runs off and back to her car. And then she stops by the Larusso home, and then knocks on the door. And then Sam says, "Hi, Moon. Are you okay? I need to talk to you in your cell. I mean, room." And then Sam's like, "Why are you acting so weird?" And then Moon's like, "I'll show you." And then she reveals the Anthea toy in Sam's bag, and Sam wondered how it got in there, and had she knew that it was in there. And then Moon revealed that she put it there, and then Sam could not believe her ears. And then Moon explained, "I know it was wrong, but every girl on Earth has a DC female character toy except us, and I just couldn't help myself." And then Sam goes, "Great, a stolen toy I'm not even supposed to have is right here in my room. Thanks a lot, Moon." And then Moon sighed and said, "I'm sorry, I almost got you in trouble, Sam, but what do I do now? I don't even want it anymore. That's the truth." "Well, what do you usually do if you get something you don't want?" Sam asked. "Ask for a refund?" "Well, yes, if you paid for it, but no, you return it," said Sam. And then she explained that they would go to the drugstore tomorrow before it opens and leave it at the door with a note saying they're sorry they took it. "Sure," said Moon. "We'll return it. It's the only thing to do." "And it's the right thing to do," said Sam. "Now get it out of here." "Okay, but how?" And then Sam suggested to put it in her little trash, and then she hid the toy in the trash. And then Amanda noticed Moon leaving, and she said, "Goodbye, Moon." And then Sam said, "Yeah, and thanks for taking out my trash." And then the toy made a little sound effect, and then Moon said, "Oops, there goes my stomach again. Bye, Mrs. LaRusso." And then Mrs. Amanda LaRusso was like, and then the next thing you know, next morning, um, Sam waited outside her house, and then the next thing you know, Moon drove up, and then Sam's like, "Where have you been?" And then Moon's like, "I was writing the note," and then it said, "Dear drugstore, we're sorry we took the toy. We don't know how this happened. Somehow it just ended up in Sam's book bag. Signed, unanimous." And then Sam said, "Moon, it's anonymous, not unanimous. And don't mention my name, then I'll get in trouble. See, this proves I'm no criminal," Moon said. And then they drive to the drugstore. They find a parking spot. They walk up, and then and then Sam says, "Now what?" "Well, we can't just leave it here," Moon said. "What if someone steals it?" And then Jim comes out, Jim's drugstore. He said, "Morning, girls. I'm in the middle of inventory, but come on in." And then they noticed the security camera, and and then Sam said, "Okay, I'll keep him busy on the candy aisle while you return the Anthea toy." And then Moon's like, Sam, you might want to take a look at this." "Take a look at what?" Sam asked. And then, oh no! They noticed the whole shelf where the Anthea toy was, all the toys were gone. And then Jim comes up and said, I'll say, well, we sold out last night. Everyone and her friend, every girl and her friend wants a DC female character toy, but don't worry, I'll have more soon." And then Moon's like, "What are we gonna do? If we leave it now, she'll know we did it." "Give it to me," said Sam. "Now you go look at the candy." And then Sam put it back, but then all of a sudden the toy starts moving and it starts dragging itself across the floor. And then Sam said, "Come on, Moon, we better not be late for lunch." And then Jim asked, "Didn't you girls come here for something?" "Oh, just these jawbreakers," said Moon. And then And then he said, that'll be 65 cents. And then Moon hesitated. And then Sam said, pay him, Moon. Okay, here, she said, thank you, come again. Goodbye, girls. And then the toy comes up, and then they notice it before they could even get out the door. And then um, Jim's like, that's funny. How did this get here? He looked at the note and then looked at Moon and Sam, concerned and stern, and said, so, whose idea was this? And they're like, I don't know. I don't. And then he goes, I'm waiting. And then Moon looks at the camera, and then she finally goes, after a couple seconds of hesitation, she finally goes, okay, I did it. It was me. Check your security camera. You'll see it was me. And then Jim said, that security camera? It isn't even working. It's not, she said. And then he grabs his phone and said, but my telephone is, and I think I'd better make some phone calls. And then Jim just said, girls, I know you meant well by returning the toy, but stealing it in the first place, well, that's where you went wrong. Very wrong. And they looked down in shame. And then Daniel and Amanda came and got Sam. And then Sam said, I know it was a dumb thing to do. I'm sorry. Amanda said, you should have come to us when you found out what Moon did. Yes, said Daniel, even though you didn't take the toy, can't you see how covering it up made it worse? And then Amanda said, we're disappointed in you, Sam. You and Moon. And then Sam said, I'm disappointed in us too. And then, well, Moon's parents did let her drive home, but before she went back home, they told her this: you're gonna have a long time to think about what you did to the store, to Sam, and to yourself. I will, she said. And then Sam gets ground. I mean, I don't know what Moon gets grounded for like a couple of weeks. She can only drive to and from school. The only place she can drive to is to school and to the gas station and to back home on the couple weeks that she's grounded. And anyway, she's not, and she's still grounded, and she's also grounded, and she's not allowed to do anything else. And then she said, and then she tells Stacy, and that's why I'm inside on a perfect Sunday afternoon, all just because of a toy I just had to have. And then Stacy said, well, I'm glad I got mine for my birthday. Well, see you in school tomorrow. And then Moon's dad said, you can wash up for dinner soon, Moon. And remember, dinner, but no dessert. Moon sighed sadly and said, shh, he really knows how to hurt a gal. And then she looks at her Taylor Swift calendar and said, one weekend down, only 4 more to go. And then the story ends with the Stacy's remote control airplane flying. And then that was the end, just like how it ends with the Arthur one. And yeah, it's just a little fanfic I decided to do, made up and all. I don't own any of the rights. I just thought it was a fun story. I used to do these kind of things with shows, like combining them and basing them off of this and that as a kid, and I would tell my parents about them. But anyway, I just wanted to tell it to you guys. And what do you guys think? Drop a like if you enjoyed it. Anyway, if you guys are new to this channel, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, check out Ian Preston reviews, like will be in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, love y'all. And remember, guys, Cobra Kai never dies. Take care, everybody. Peace out.